Hi folks, and welcome to my 1999 Pan European ST1100. I had a problem with it recently where I'm losing pressure on the clutch lever, especially in hot conditions or slow running. So googled it and found out there's several different reasons why this might happen. But rather than repair just one part of the clutch, I've decided to repair and replace nearly all of it. The reason for me making this video is, again, having searched Google and YouTube, I couldn't find any video specifically for the ST1100. So hopefully, if this helps you out, all well and good. I apologise, I probably haven't got the best video voice. The items I'm replacing or repairing are the clutch master cylinder, the clutch hose, the clutch slave cylinder and the clutch plates. Obviously, along with that, you also really need to replace your engine oil filter, your water. I've drained all the water system, and also, of course, having drained the water system, you will need antifreeze. I've already repaired the master cylinder. The hose I have on order, not arrived yet, so I can't do that today. Also, as you see here, we have the repair kit for the slave cylinder, the gasket for the clutch housing, the metal clutch rings, and the clutch friction plates. I'm not using original Honda, I'm using EBC, which is a very good pattern part. And there's me oil and clutch fluid ready for replacement. I will of course also need some antifreeze. This is the clutch master cylinder. As I say, that's already been repaired, so it's got new seals, new springs, etc. So now we move on to the main reason for this video, which is to get into the clutch and showing you hopefully how to replace it. I have to add here that this is the first time I've done a clutch myself. I have already had everything off and I've put everything back on, so everything is loose just for the sakes of this video to save time. You will of course notice that you have to take off most of the offside panels and the exhaust, crash bar, bracket, etc. to get to the clutch housing. Okay, first thing to do is to remove the clutch slave cylinder. That's this item here. As I say, the bolts, I've already loosened the bolts off, so I can just undo these very quickly. They're 10mm nuts, so a 10mm spanner or 10mm socket will do nice. And then that literally just lifts away. Also, at the same time as you're doing that, just remove the centre spindle. Now I've got the slave unit off, I'll just take the plunger out and you'll be able to see the spring and seal, etc. That again is all going to be replaced. Okay, the clutch housing held on by 9 bolts. 5 long bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 shorter bolts. Again, you'll see they're all loose, ready to come out. So, just going to very quickly take them out. And you'll see the clutch cover will lift off. So there you go, there's the clutch cover. So now you can see the main clutch unit. You'll see there's 5 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 holding in the plate there. Again 10mm bolts. Undo them bit by bit and make sure you go around all of them so they come off evenly. I'm going to use a 10mm socket, so I'm going to start off on one, then just go around two at a time. Just so you take it off evenly. Okay, now you have them all undone, so literally just obviously lift the bolts out. Lift the plate off. Comes off with spindle in the middle. And then just lift away the springs. Where the ST1100 differs from a lot of Hondas is the fact that it has this centre locking nut. That is extremely tight. The only way I found that I could undo it was to put the bike in gear, then using a couple of ratchet extension bars, slide it right through the rear wheel so it rests on both sides of the swing arm, and then lock the wheel into place. It's a 30mm bolt, which initially I tried undoing with a normal torque wrench. It was still too tight, so I'll end up using a proper torque wrench. So onto the nut with the back wheel locked, and that will snap open. So go on to remove the centre nut. So washer behind that nut. Now we've got the lock nut off, we can now start taking the innards out. A little bit of a shake. See, that will come out. The plates are coming out behind it. I'm not particularly worried about the plates falling out, but there you go. That's the main unit now taken out. Before I start stripping the actual plates down and rebuilding with new ones, I've just noticed that the new rings I've bought feel a bit sticky. Just feel a little bit sticky all around. So I've just given them all a clean down with methylated spirits. Because obviously the last thing you want to do is have them sticking to the friction plates. Okay, you should have 10 friction plates and 9 steel plates. One quick word about the friction plates. You have 8, I don't know how well this is going to show, you have 8 what I would refer to as normal friction plates, and then you have 2 which are nearly identical, but you'll see you've got little cutouts on 4 of the tags. See if I can show you that a bit closer. You see these have the cutouts here. You must put one of those at the front and one at the back. So I have them laid out, so I've got 1, 8, 1. Okay, let's start stripping this one down. Should be very simple. The centre bit should literally lift straight out like so. And there's all your plates. I'm just going to lift the whole lot off in one go. So that's all the old plates now taken out. What I'm going to do now is give both of these units a clean down. Just make sure they're nice and clean, and then we rebuild. Don't know how well this is going to show up, but you might see there's a tinge of blue all around the outside here. Now that indicates to me that there's been some heat travelling through the clutch, which might be the reason I'm losing pressure. So you can see it best, especially more on that side. Compare it with a new one. sure you can see the difference. Okay, so now we're going to start rebuilding. Let's put that down there. That's it. So we're going to start. First one we're going to put on friction plate, one of the ones with the notches out of it, just there. So that's going to go on first. Metal spacer, and just simply, I'm not doing this in any neat fashion, just one after the other. Ensuring that the last one again to go on again has the notches out of it. Okay, so that's all just sitting on there willy-nilly. I've lined them up a little bit better just for the sake of the video, and hopefully that's going to go straight in. There you go. Basically back together. I've now turned the whole unit upside down, and you'll notice I've lined up all these outer pegs to make it easier for reassembling. So now we're going to go back to the main clutch on the bike. When I took the main clutch rings out, you notice I kept the basket left in, but now I'm just going to woggle that, and it will, the whole basket will come out. It is a bit tight. If need be, just use a spanner, a screwdriver. Just get behind it, give it a bit of a push. There you go. Now the whole lot is out. What you may not have seen when the basket came off is the washer sitting in the middle. That washer now needs to simply sit on there. Before I do so, I'm going to give all this a clean down as well. Okay, now I've given that a clean down. You notice I've also lined these up as best as I can, the clutch plates. So hopefully this will now slide straight down onto there. There you go, the whole unit back together again. Okay, the rebuild is the exact reverse, obviously, of the dismantle. As you can see, everything's now back on apart from the bodywork. Yeah, just got to wait for the hose to turn up. Hope this has been helpful to somebody.